All right, welcome aboard, everyone. We've got Diana and Ken up front here. Hello there. And Marion and Joel. Hello there. And Steve and Carla back here behind me. Welcome. I've got a brother named Steve and a sister named Carla. Are we related? We get a good briefing from our ground crew? Good. We all have our seatbelts fastened? Let's please keep those on throughout the flight. If you're going to be taking pictures, you want to be careful not to touch the airframe or the windshield with your camera or your lens. The vibration from it will blur your picture. Oh, that's no good, is it? Don't worry about it. We'll get back and get a shot. See those girls all off balance for not having the helicopter running. Yeah, you want to just keep hold of that handle so it doesn't flop open when we land. Did you guys get it latched? Okay. Marion, you see that little latch right next to your head there? Push that in. No, the other way. Push it all the way. There we go. Thank you. All right. Now we're ready to try it.
What goes up must come down. What must rise must fall.
We better save that one for later, huh? see some pretty big surf breaking out on the shoreline here. And lots of windsurfers out here. The North Shore of Maui is world famous for its windsurfing. Kanaha Beach Park right here is where most of the windsurfing schools do their training. There's a real nice park down there with shade trees, picnic areas, mowed grass, showers. We started out from Kahului on the north shore of the central Maui Isthmus, and we're heading northwest bound now over to the West Maui Mountains. Kahului Harbor is down to our left, the main port for the island. That's the inter-island cruise ship, the Independence, sitting at the pier there. Across the bay, that's Wailuku, the county seat for the county of Maui. Now, just up from Wailuku, you can see that big valley to our left. That's the Iao Valley. And that's the only valley on the west side that you can drive into. You can drive up to the Iao Needle State Park back there, and it's a very pretty place. Easy to get to, short drive. If you haven't been up there, I recommend taking a drive up there. There's a macadamia nut trees here in the orchard to our left. You drive out of Wailuku, this road down to our left here will take you through the MacNuts and out onto the North Shore, up on these cliffs along the North Shore, and around to the west side over to Kapalua. It's a nice drive around. It'll take you about 2 hours to do the whole west side. Turning in to the West Maui Mountains here. This is called the Waihe'i Valley down here on our left. Pretty typical winter day here, low clouds laying over the middle of the island. We do have a lush tropical rainforest down below us, blanketing the slopes here. That point over to our right is called Kahakaloa. If you drive around the north side here from Kahakaloa, the road drops down and follows the shoreline around to Kapalua. That's called the Hanakahau Valley down below us. We are crossing from the windward side of the island to the lee side, the downwind side now. That's why we're encountering this turbulence right here. Over to our right on the shoreline, that's Kapalua. Kapalua Bay Hotel and condominiums down there, and the new Ritz-Carlton located there. Kapalua and Napili, set of high-rises there is Hanakawai. Another setup ahead of us is Kahana. Straight ahead of us is Kaanapali on the south shore. Well, the windward side is the rainy side, the cloudy side. The south side is the lee side, the sunny side. That's Lahaina off to our left front. They say Lahaina means cruel sun. It's pretty hot over here. I think Lahaina means hang on to your billfold. It's been that way for a long time too. This is where Kamehameha the Great ruled his Hawaiian kingdom from. Lahaina was the center of everything that was going on in Hawaii back in the 1800s. Back when Honolulu was nothing but a swamp. It's where all the whalers used to come. 400 whaling ships at a time would be anchored offshore at Lahaina in the 1800s. We cross onto the lee and we can see the choppy wind, choppy whitecaps out on the ocean because of the wind to our right, nice and calm ahead of us. Kaanapali Beach and all the high-rises along that beautiful beach, the Hyatt, the Westin, the Sheraton, Marriott, just to name a few. That's the island of Lanai straight ahead of us, the island of Kaho'olawe to our left, and the island of Molokai off to our right. Front Street runs right down along the shoreline in Lahaina. All the shops and bars and restaurants down there that make Lahaina a carnival every day of the year. You can go parasailing, jet skiing, submarining, catamaraning, surfing, snorkeling, all kinds of things going on over here. Now the road that runs around from Kahului on the south shore that takes you to Lahaina will take you by some nice beaches and some nice parks. And you can see when we've got a predominant north wind right now, you can see it's nice and calm right in this stretch right here. This makes this an excellent spot to get down to the beach. In fact, just yesterday I was out here myself. Drove all the way from the other side to get over here and get some sunshine and get out of the wind. are in a rainy season right now. Depending on how long you've been on the island, you might not be aware of that, because we've had a lot of rain here just recently. In fact, right now, on the 20th of November, this month is registered the third highest rainfall in recorded history in Hawaii, with over a week left to go this month. Nice little park right down there. That's Laniupoko Valley, and they call that Laniupoko Park there. That park has showers. It's the only one along this south shoreline that does have running water. That's Olowalu Bay up ahead on our right front. And that's a great place to go snorkeling. A lot of sea turtles, a lot of fish down there. You can see it's very dry and arid over on the back side of the mountain here. We get as little as 20 inches of rainfall annually over here. And most of that falls in the winter months, so it's greened up just a little bit here. In the summer it looks like beautiful Barstow, California over here. Nice little island of Molokini offshore on our right there. Very popular diving and snorkeling spot. Ranked one of the top 10 snorkeling destinations in the world by Diver Magazine. And looking across the Ma'alai Bay, we have Haleakala on the east side of the island. Ma'alai Marina tucked into the bay straight ahead of us. That's where you can charter a boat, get out on the ocean here, do some snorkeling or diving or whatever. Across the bay we have Kihei, and further down on the shoreline to our right we have Wailea. We took off from the north shore of the Central Isthmus. We're at the south shore of it right now. It is about 7 miles across. We'll get clear of these clouds here in a second. You'll be able to see all the way across over the Kahului. That golf course over there is owned by the Grand Wailea Hotel down in Wailea to our right. See the clubhouse sitting up against the mountain there at the top of the golf course. That's a Frank Lloyd Wright design. Originally designed as a home for Marilyn Monroe and Arthur Miller. It was never built, and Mr. Sakaguchi, who owns the Grand Wailea, decided it would make a good clubhouse. So they brought it over here, they brought the design over and built it up here. It's a strikingly beautiful building. While that's a private course, the clubhouse is open to the public. This is all sugar cane up ahead of us, 35,000 acres of the stuff. One of the largest cane plantations in the world. How we all doing, all right? Good. South Kihei Road will take you right down along the shoreline. A little further up, that's the Pi'ilani Highway, which goes out to where the nice hotels are in Wailea, and that's where the highway dead ends, and you drop right back down to the shore again. So that's the quick way to get out to Wailea. That's the slow way, is going along the shoreline. Very congested down in that area. From the top of the mountain at 10,023 feet ahead of us, we can see the southwest rift zone running down to the shoreline to our right, with cinder cones all along the rift. Eruptions began about 1.5 million years ago, they estimate, that formed Haleakala, and they continued all the way up until 1793, when La Perouse Bay was formed. You can see the black lava flows down to our right there that form La Perouse Bay, and if you drive out on South Kihei Road, past the hotels, past McKenna Beach, you'll end up out in the La Perouse lava flows. If you want to go out and check them out. That is where the road dead ends. Up along the slope of Haleakala ahead of us is the upcountry Maui area. Now this is the western slope of Haleakala, and it's the only portion of the mountain that is populated. The rest of it is all Hawaiian homestead, national park, state park, forest preserves. There's very small population on the mountain itself. Pukalani over to our left is the largest town upcountry. At Pukalani, then we have Kula and Ulapalakula ranch lands stretching out ahead of us here. If you drive out from Kahului, up around Pukalani, the lower Kula Highway will take you across the slope. And if you drive out far enough, you'll end up on the ridge line over to our right. And in those trees over on the ridge there, you'll find the Tedeschi Winery located. Very pretty spot. It was owned originally, not the winery, but the property was owned by King David Kalakaua. He had a retreat up there. Beautiful grounds around the winery. You can tour the winery and buy some of their wares if you like. It's a pretty good deal. Let me see. down to our left. You can see the Church of the Holy Ghost down there. A white building with the round sanctuary there. That was brought over here in the 1800s, disassembled in Europe, brought over here and reassembled. They just renovated here a couple of years ago. It's beautiful condition right now. Lower Kula grows those delicious Maui onions that Maui is world famous for. And Upper Kula grows lots of beautiful flowers. Proteas, poinsettias, carnations, orchids, all can be found up here. And there are a couple of nice botanical gardens. If you drive up this way, you might want to take a walk through them. Right ahead of us, you can see the road zigzagging its way up that field there. This is Poli Poli State Park. Very nice area that very few people ever get to. The road is paved up to the top of the road. You can see on the top of that cloud there, the road cuts across the slope through the trees. That road is not paved there, but it's not in bad shape. You can certainly drive it in a rental car. A little further over to the left, blocked by these clouds, is the Haleakala Highway. That will take you up to the top of the mountain, up to Haleakala National Park. It's Science City up on top of the mountain. You can see the observatories up there coming into view. There's also a satellite tracking station up there and a very large Department of Defense facility where they're doing some of the Star Wars research. They have lasers up there. They fire up into space and bounce off the satellites. Lots of top secret experiments being conducted there. Coming up on the rift zone, we are going to pick up the southwest rift and follow it up to Haleakala Crater. As I mentioned, it was about 3,000 years, well, maybe I didn't mention that. About 3,000 years ago, we had our last major volcanic period. And at that time, eruptions were occurring along the northeast rift, in the crater, and down the southwest rift. Just about the entire mountain was covered with fresh lava flows at that time. And we get up a little bit higher here, and we'll see where some of that lava ran down the side of the mountain. They're building a new observatory up in Science City. I assume this construction that's going on the slope here. It looks like they've got some cable they're stringing out there. Has something to do with that new observatory. There you can see where the lava came out of the cinder cones and ran down the side of the mountain here. big observatory they're building up there. There's a lot of stuff going on up here. They have the Star Wars lasers up here. Fire them up into space. Very successful program, although they spent billions on it. I guess it's worth it. So far they've repelled every alien invasion of the Earth. Peak of the mountain has that little observation building on it. Now looking down from the peak, that's Haleakala Crater. 20 miles in diameter, it's 3,000 feet down to the floor of the crater from the peak. We're skirting the south rim here, heading eastbound. We're going to go a little further to the east, and then we'll circle back around so y'all get a good look in there. Line of cinder cones follows the rift zone right to the center of the crater. They also date from 3,000 years ago. Lava flows from them, pushed over the north wall to our left, and opened up the Ko'olau Gap over there. There's some 40 miles worth of trails in the crater. You can hike in there or take a guided horseback tour. There's an almost vertical slope off the back of Haleakala down below us. This is one of the few parts of the mountain that did not get covered by those later lava flows. Very rugged terrain down here. Not much out here, but some cattle loose on the open range and some herds of wild goats. We're on our way down off the top of Haleakala now, and as we come down from over 10,000 feet, you're going to feel the pressure start to build up inside your inner ear. Now that should equalize all by itself as we descend. But if it causes you any discomfort, you can assist your ear in equalizing that pressure by opening your mouth for a while, like you're yawning, or by swallowing several times. Chewing gum is very beneficial for that. But if all else fails, the best thing you can do is lightly squeeze your nose together and blow softly against it. And I think you'll find that'll clear it right up. And if it doesn't do it the first time, do it again until it does it. That'll open it up for you.
No kamona ke alama e Haleakala kuhano hano Ohu ohu na opua mehe leila Ohu kau kua hivi hali ina hele Lani o Maui, no ue pula ma fauna he
Valley starts from the top of Haleakala and wraps around from our left down to the shoreline down to our right. It is part of Haleakala National Park. It's a scientific preserve. You see a lush hardwood forest down below us, an old growth forest. Most of the older trees were killed off by the later lava flows. This area right in here was not. Probably going to hit a little bit of turbulence on this ridge here. Mix a little sunshine, a little rain, you do get rainbows. Down below us as the water gathers up in the Kipahulu Valley and runs down to the shoreline. It goes through a number of pools coming through here, and there are pools all over the mountain. There are some big ones down below us here, and they have got to be known as the 7 sacred pools. That is the little village of Kipahulu on our right at the shoreline. That is where the famous aviator Charles Lindbergh is buried. Mr. Lindbergh passed away there back in 1974. Lush and green down here. Slopes are blanketed with ferns. There are over 250 different types of ferns alone found here. You can also see lots of African tulips down here. That's the red flowering tree we see. This is a little Hawaiian cowboy music. It's called slack key guitar. And to our left there is the Waihiamalu Falls. This is the Waihoi Valley. Pretty spot. You can see where the lava flows came down the Soldier Valley and filled it in here. And you can see where the water's washed the vegetation away. You can see the lava rock down there. Don't be deceived by all this greenery. This is all lava down here. This is growing right out of the rock. We're at the bottom of the northeast rift zone, just like the southwest rift, just like the cinder cones we saw up in the volcano, we've got cinder cones along the rift line here. There were 365 inches of rainfall annually. Everything's blanketed with a layer of ferns here. At the bottom of the Northeast Rift, we've got Hana Bay and the town of Hana on our right front. Cowboy country, the Hana Ranch shows just about everything out on this side of the island, and that is all ranch land down there. That's the Hawaiian cowboys down there. They call them Paniolos. Comes from the Spanish word Españolos. The first cowboys the Hawaiians saw were Spaniards. But they don't have S's in the Hawaiian language, so they shortened Españolo to Paniolo. Is a popular area with celebrities. They like the peace and quiet they find out here. And there are a number of them that make their homes out here, at least part of the time. People like Barbara Streisand, Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Pryor. Up on the hill there, that house all by itself is Chris Christopherson's place. And down the hill from Chris is 3 houses and a warehouse there, and a big macadamia nut orchard running down to the shoreline. And it all belongs to the beautiful and talented Jim Neighbors, who you may remember as Gomer Pyle. Last eruptions on this end occurred right here about 800 years ago, and these cinder cones formed. This is the north slope of Haleakala, the Hana Rainforest. As I said, on an average, you'll get 365 inches of rainfall along here. And all that rain across this broad slope collection runs down. And it's starting to erode away pools and valleys into the lava here. Find the eucalyptus trees down to our right. The eucalyptus were brought here by the Australians, and they are the biggest tree we find out here. Very typical day on the North Slope here. Moisture is driven off the ocean by the trade winds, forced up the slope, called orographic lifting. And as the air mass moves up, it cools off, and you reach the dew point where the air is saturated, and clouds form and rain starts falling on them. It is very humid around here. Fortunately, it doesn't get real hot here, or it would not be a very nice climate. This is the Coal Valley, the biggest valley out here on the north side. Pretty neat, huh? Remember that large gap we looked at in the north wall of the crater all the way across from us? That is the Coal Gap up there. We've got some big waterfalls cascading down the cliffs here. Sunshine beaming down.
Where are you tonight? Are you here for a short time or the rest of my life? When I'm holding you tight, all the stars seem so much brighter. They light up the night. I walk in the sand. Here I am with my heart aching to walk hand in hand. Here I am with my heart aching to walk hand in hand. Please keep my heart from breaking. How can I make you understand? Kool-Aid. Where are you tonight? Are you here for a short time or the rest of my life? Here I am with my heart aching to walk hand in hand. Please keep my heart from breaking. How can I make you understand? Kool-Aid. Where are you tonight? Are you here for a short time or the rest of my life? Kool-Aid. Come love me tonight. All the stars seem so much brighter. They light up the night, light up the night. You light up the night. Kool-Aid.
right with the little village of Kenai out on the point. Honolulu Bay is down to our left. And on the bluff overlooking the bay and the peninsula is a picnic area and a wayside rest. Now, it's about an hour and a half drive from Kahului on the Hana Highway out to this point. If you'd like to see the North Shore, this is where I recommend you head for. It's a lot easier than driving all the way to Hana, and this is the prettiest part of the island right here. You see lots of water streaming down the cliffs here. It's coming all the way down from the shores, from the slope up above here. Might have recognized that waterfall of that little rock island to our left there. Those in the opening shots of Jurassic Park when they're flying to the island of the dinosaurs.
Bluebird flying high, tell me what you say. If you could talk to me, what news would you bring? Of voices in the sky. Nightingale, hovering high, harmonize the wind. Darkness, your symphony, I can hear you sing. Of voices in the sky. Just what is happening to me? I lie awake with the sound of the sea calling to me. Old man passing by, tell me what you say. Though your voice be faint, I am listening. Voices in the sky. Children with the skipping rope, tell me what you sing. Playtime is nearly gone, the bell's about to ring. Voices in the sky.
You see that concrete bridge over to our left there? It's on the Hana Highway. It's a big bridge, brand new one. They just built it here a couple of years ago. You drive out from Kahului to that bridge, park alongside the road. There's a parking lot right alongside the road. You walk up the slope. You can't see it from here, but you'll come in about 10 minutes. You'll come to a big pool with two waterfalls going into it, called the Twin Falls. That's the closest pool and falls that you can drive to, no matter where you're at in the island. And it's about a half hour from Kahului out here. Nice place for a picnic, nice place to take some pictures. And if it's not, the stream's not flowing too fast, good place to go swimming also.
Just what is happening to me? I lie awake with the sound of the sea calling to me. Bluebird flying high, tell me what you sing. If you could talk to me, what news would you bring? Of voices in the sky. Voices in the sky. Voices in the sky.
That's Pineapple down here along the North Shore. Rural area of Haiku. Just up ahead of us here. running from the shoreline all the way up to the little cowboy town of Makawa further up the slope. Well, it's been a rocky coastline all along the North Shore here, but as we get back to the Central Isthmus, we find some nice beaches located along there. And this area here, as I mentioned on our way out, is famous for its windsurfing. Awful lot of that going on here. And the very first beach straight ahead of us is where the World Championship of Windsurfing is held every year. That's Ho'okipa Beach Park. About a 10-minute drive from Kahului will put you out at Ho'okipa. So we get the biggest surf on the island. So when the conditions are right, you'll find lots of surfing going on out here. And you'll also find some of the top pros in the world out here at Ho'okipa. Lots of people out there right now watching those big waves come in. I really don't think it's good surfing weather right now. I'm not a surfer, so I don't understand how that all works. But just because it's big doesn't mean it's good surfing. But we can see some windsurfers out there. You mix those big waves with the strong winds out here, and I've seen them do double flips with their windsurf boards out here. Pretty wild. Little town of Paia here. That's where you'll find most of the surfers and the windsurfers hanging out. If they're not in the ocean, they're laying around town here. And it's a pretty laid-back place. Up on Haleakala, around Hana, and through the rainforest, through the West Valley, West Maui Mountains, and now we're heading back into the heliport. I'd like to thank you all for coming with. It's been my pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed the flight. If you have any questions about anything, we'll be happy to try and answer them if we can when we get back down here on the ground. Thank you, folks. If you get a chance and you get inside, we've got a guest book in there. We always love to hear any comments you might have.